While Blueprints might masquerade as a puzzle game, it's infinitely more than just that. Blueprints combines elements of roguelites, point-and-click, mysteries, deck builders, extraction games, walking simulators, and many other genres in an experience that has no analog. What's magical about Blueprints is how failure is almost as rewarding as success. There is always something that will propel you into the next day in one of the most addicting games, thanks to its rich atmosphere, interesting premise, and unique genre fusion. Blueprints isn't just one of the best puzzle games of all time, it's possibly one of the best games of all time. In Blueprints, you play as Simon, the heir to Herbert S. Sinclair, a billionaire who wants to leave one last puzzle in his honor, which includes his giant mansion. The only catch to inheriting your uncle's crown jewel is that you have to find the elusive 46th room inside the ever-changing estate. The journey starts fairly simple as you begin your first day in the foyer of an opulent mansion. Ahead of you lie 3 doors, of which you can choose to go through any of them. Once you open a door, you will be presented with 3 potential blueprint layouts drawn from a pool of different room options. At the beginning of the day, you will have a blank slate of a mansion to build, and most doors are open and unlocked. However, as you start to progress, you'll soon discover that some doors are locked, some routes lead nowhere, and you are constantly surrounded by puzzles or red herrings which you can never be fully sure of. To get through some of these locked doors, you will need to find keys, gems, and coins. Keys will do the obvious and unlock doors, but they come in different varieties, which you will discover. Gems are basically the fees that you will need to pay to open certain doors, which will become increasingly costly as you progress in the mansion. And finally, there are coins, which you can use to purchase items in certain rooms, like the kitchen and the commissary. The game within the game is how you play each blueprint. Some are just means to another room with plenty of doors, but there are plenty of other passive effects, both negatively and positively, such as adding or removing footsteps to your day. Each day will begin with 50 steps, but those steps only decrease when passing through thresholds, meaning that you are encouraged to spend your time studying each room and trying to decipher what everything means. On your journey, you will discover certain tools and items that will help you, including things like a shovel to dig or a sledgehammer to smash open treasure chests instead of using a key. There will also be items like a magnifying glass that can help reveal clues that are invisible to the naked eye. Blueprints is specifically tailored to your intelligence, and your experience will vastly differ from others. There is no puzzle in the game that has to be solved for you to finish the game. This is one major area where Blueprints is vastly superior to most puzzles or point-and-click mystery games. The day will meet its demise in one of 2 ways. Either you will run out of steps, or you will run out of doors to go through. Blueprints is about making the most of a bad situation, and the good news is that every day you will add numerous items to your checklist to investigate. Almost every single room is packed with mysteries and information. Some rooms require clues from that same room or from multiple other rooms or even other days, which is why having a notebook beside you is crucial. Blueprints is full of red herrings, but the biggest regret was that I didn't write everything down from the very start, as almost everything means something. One of the best parts of Blueprints is how many different genre elements it incorporates into its gameplay. You have the obvious mystery as you're trying to find the elusive 46th room, and the puzzle genre as the mansion is littered with them. In addition to that, it's also a point and click as each room is filled with interactivity hiding just beneath the surface, as you need to explore every inch of every room for something that might not be obvious initially. At times, Blueprints can also feel like a walking simulator as you walk the floors of the mansion and the exterior grounds with seemingly nothing of consequence happening. Blueprints goes beyond the obvious genres, as it can also feel like a deck builder as you use and collect floor plans like cards in your deck. There's also some RNG involved when drawing these plans for the next room, but it also requires skill to understand the right times to use the right plans. However, what's really interesting is how Blueprints fuses elements of extraction-based games and roguelites. You only have a limited amount of steps or open doors before the day is over and you need to restart, but you are always trying to extract that day with any type of new knowledge that can help your future self follow one more clue. Finally, just like the roguelite genre, there will be things that you permanently keep with you despite having to start over each day. The most obvious is your knowledge, including how certain things work inside the mansion, what certain combinations or codes are as they don't reset, and what equipment is needed. Furthermore, there are a few permanent additions that you can unlock that will greatly aid you in your journey to finding the 46th room. Deep within the mansion and long past the credits lies a story of blackmail, political intrigue, and the disappearance of a beloved children's book author. The gameplay by itself would be more than enough and alone is wildly addictive, but it's also paired with an incredible atmosphere thanks to a Trent Reznor style score that is constantly ominous and a gorgeous cel-shaded art style. When you combine the minimalist score with the sound effects of the Mount Holly mansion, Blueprints is extremely immersive. Blueprints is a great game to play on the Steam Deck, but surprisingly, the frame rate can take some dips occasionally. It was only near the very end of the game when the RNG felt unfair, but this was only because I knew exactly which items were needed, what blueprints were required, and the exact order. There are also a few quality of life issues that I think would have went a long way. Solving puzzles in Blueprints is an extremely rewarding feeling, but it could have been amplified even more with slightly better audio cues when you solve some of the world's mysteries. Also, sometimes when you have to rotate items or puzzles, it would have been nice if the game allowed you to rotate both ways. Somehow, Blueprints is able to provide a different experience for everyone. Although the departure and the arrival will be the same, the journey will be vastly different. Blueprints will be offered and chosen differently, puzzles will be discovered and solved at different times, but what's most incredible is that there is no puzzle that must be solved to find room 46. Blueprints is an experience that always finds a way to reward the player. Even if you think you've reached the dead end, there is always a silver lining and something to learn, which is part of why it's extremely addictive. As the credits roll at around 25 hours, Blueprints still leaves you wanting more as you want to unravel all the mysteries that lie within the walls of the Mount Holly estate. Despite being an amalgamation of at least 8 different genres, Blueprints is one of the most unique gaming experiences that I've ever played. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe and find a lot more like it. Video games is a positivity-first gaming outlet. We believe that gaming should be a force for good. We focus on making uplifting content with constructive discussions and celebrating what makes games great. That's all for today, and until next time, be good to your fellow gamer, but more importantly, be better to your fellow human.